Vignette number 22 from Zen Is Right Here, Teaching Stories and Anecdotes of Shunryu Suzuki. A flamboyant young man with long hair and beads around his neck had been trying hard to practice Zen at Sokoji while continuing his hippie lifestyle. One day he asked Suzuki Roshi a question about marijuana and Zen, to which Suzuki answered, "Maybe you smoke too much marijuana." "Okay," the fellow said, "I'll quit. You're the boss." "No," Suzuki said, "you're the boss." That was Ken Spiker at Sokoji, like it says, in 1965. Suzuki used that term, boss, sometimes in talks about becoming your own boss. Buddhist sects in Japan, or Buddhist practices in Japan, are sometimes divided into jiriki and tariki. Jiriki is self-power, and tariki is other power. So people say Zen is jiriki, self-power, and Jodo Shinshu are other power, where you're in Jodoshu, you're sort of praying for the Buddha to let you be reborn into the Eastern paradise and various things. And Jodo Shinshu, where you're that's thanking Buddha that you're already enlightened. I think Jodoshu, I've heard it called onegai kokoro, sort of like supplicating mind, or onegai, well, asking mind, and arigatai kokoro, arigato gozaimasu, thank you in Japanese. That's grateful mind, is associated with Jodo Shinshu, and Shin is true, the true sect of Jodo. So, Suzuki's teaching was not hardcore jiriki. There's the two sides. He'd say, he gave a lecture once where he talked about you drive the wave and you ride the wave. There were always two sides. You were never totally the boss, for sure. I'd hear him say to somebody, or I'd hear from them that he'd say, "You're not practicing Zazen. Zazen is practicing Zazen." Or Big Mind is practicing Zazen. So sometimes he would say, he would emphasize one side and sometimes another. He's saying take responsibility for yourself. Now that would be an interesting thing to do. I've done this with a lot of things Suzuki says in the lectures. I keep them all in one file. I can go through and search for the word boss and make a list of every time he said boss and what he said about it. That would be interesting. But for today, this is enough. This has been a Gyuk audio mini podcast. I'm your host, DC Poobah of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives, wishing you and yours and all of us a grand awakening.